Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Julie Chrisley says she has a lung condition following prison stay, getting tests from doctor. Julie Chrisley's 28 months in prison apparently led to some health issues. Listen, I have a lung condition from being in prison, Julie, 52, revealed during the Wednesday, July 30, episode of the Chrisley Confessions 2.0 podcast. You will probably notice me at certain times, trying to get like a breath. Julie and Todd, 56, claimed her lung issue was because of all the black mold and asbestos she was surrounded by in prison. Julie was held at the FMC Lexington in Kentucky. That's something that we're having to address right now, Todd told listeners about his wife's health. This week, you have a doctor's appointment with a pulmonary specialist that's going to do some tests on you. Further details about Julie's health were not discussed. The Federal Bureau of Prisons did not comment specifically on the conditions of the prison where Julie was held. However, they did offer a statement to Us Weekly on Wednesday. It is the mission of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, BOP, to operate facilities that are safe, secure, and humane, the statement read. We take seriously our duty to protect the individuals entrusted in our custody, as well as maintaining the safety of our employees and the community. Humane treatment of the men and women in our custody is a top priority. Both Todd and Julie spent 28 months in prison after being convicted on tax evasion along with bank and wire fraud charges in 2022. They were released in May after being pardoned by President Donald Trump. While Julie was being held in Kentucky, Todd was placed at FPC Pensacola in Florida. The two claimed during Wednesday's podcast episode that they weren't allowed to contact each other while behind bars. The couple was answering fan questions when one person asked, how often did Todd and Julie speak during their prison time? Julie noted that they didn't speak on the phone at all, rather opting for email, which was sporadic at best during their stay. Now, I would have spoken with you, but what people don't realize is that you are going to abide by the rules, Todd said. I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure that I stay in touch with the people that I love. Y'all can read into that whatever you want to. Julie explained further. We did not get to speak all. There is something in prison that if married couples are both incarcerated, both of the wardens have to give an approval to be able to get one phone call a month, she said. My warden approved it. Your warden did not. Todd claimed that he was being punished because his warden was caught up in so much corrupt behavior, and their daughter Savannah Chrisley had exposed it publicly. Us Weekly has reached out to the prison for comment. That warden has now been let go. She's out. She's no longer gonna be a warden anymore, Todd said before returning to the phone call conversation. She refused to approve the calls. She came to me and she said, well, it's not on my end. It's on your wife's end. Julie chimed in, adding, we did not actually get to speak. That's horrible. That was the worst, one of the worst parts of it, you know. The BOP shared a statement with us on Wednesday regarding Todd's allegations about the warden. Let me be clear. Those who wear the Bureau of Prisons uniform are held to the highest standards. The men and women who show up every day, break their backs, and do the hard, honest work of corrections. They have my respect and are the backbone of the Bureau. BOP Director William K. Marshall, III shared. But those who abuse their position, who treat inmates or their fellow employees with anything less than the dignity and integrity I would expect my kids to be treated with, the type this profession demands. They are not BOP employees in my eyes. By their actions, they have forfeited that title. When someone crosses that line, they are no longer upholding our mission. Julie Chrisley, the former matriarch of the reality TV family behind Chrisley Knows Best, is speaking out about a new and troubling health revelation, one that she says developed after she began serving her sentence at FMC Lexington, the federal prison where she has been since January 2023. In a surprising turn, Julie's voice, once full of her signature Southern calm, cracked with emotion in a recent message shared through her legal team and family. "I never thought I'd say this," she began, "but prison changed more than just my outlook. It changed my body." According to the 51-year-old, months behind bars have left her with what doctors are calling a lung condition. Though full diagnoses are still underway. "I've been short of breath. I started wheezing at night. It wasn't like me," Julie said, her words carefully chosen in a statement drafted by her attorney, who added that a specialist had been brought in to conduct pulmonary function tests. "I was healthy when I went in," Julie explained. "I didn't smoke. I never had breathing issues. I did yoga, I drank green juice, I kept up with my vitamins. And now I can't even walk up a flight of stairs without feeling like I've run a marathon." Allegations of poor conditions. Julie's family has been quick to blame the prison environment. Her daughter, Savannah Chrisley, has vocally expressed concern, calling the conditions horrific and inhumane on her podcast Unlocked. "Mom's telling us about mold, mildew, musty walls, vents that haven't been cleaned in what looks like decades," Savannah said. She was sleeping in that for months before they finally moved her to a different bunk. Sources close to the Chrisleys allege that Julie began experiencing symptoms as early as last fall, but her complaints were initially brushed off by staff. They told her it was allergies, Savannah claimed. She was given Tylenol. That's their answer for everything in there. Julie's attorney filed a request for compassionate evaluation in May, citing chronic symptoms and the need for further testing. It wasn't until mid-July that Julie was granted a brief trip to an off-site facility where doctors reportedly ran blood work and a high-resolution CT scan. According to initial medical findings, doctors observed scarring patterns on the lung, possibly indicative of exposure to environmental toxins. One pulmonologist familiar with prison health conditions, though not involved in Julie's care, noted that prisons with outdated infrastructure often have HVAC systems filled with dust, bacteria, or black mold, any of which can lead to long-term pulmonary complications. Julie's emotional revelation. "I've always been the quiet one," Julie said in her statement. "Todd has the fire, the fight. I tried to be the peacekeeper, but this isn't about peace anymore. It's about my health. It's about surviving something I wasn't supposed to go through in the first place." Julie's health scare has reopened conversations about the fairness of her incarceration. Todd and Julie Chrisley were sentenced to a combined 19 years in federal prison after being convicted on charges of tax evasion and bank fraud. Their family has maintained their innocence, pointing to prosecutorial misconduct and procedural errors, and is currently appealing the verdict. "Even if you believe I did something wrong," Julie said, "do you believe I should get sick in a place that won't even let me breathe clean air?" A family rallying together. Despite the Chrisley family's struggles, they've remained tightly knit, even if separated by miles in prison walls. Todd, now serving his own sentence at FPC Pensacola, has reportedly been writing daily letters to Julie, offering encouragement and prayers. "I never doubted for a second that God was watching over her," he said in one letter Savannah shared online. But even Job had questions.